Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Howard on Sports. My name is Howard, and today I'm going to talk about how data in sports can be deceiving. And I'm going to give two examples, two Hall of Fame all time greats. The first is in football, Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is considered by many to be the greatest wide receiver in NFL history. But before he came into the league, he had a reputation of being slow because when he ran the 40-yard dash, when he was doing the combines, he had a bad time. And so he was considered slow. But if that's the case, how come he always got open? And how come he had all those touchdowns? How'd he do it? Well, the answer is he was a fantastic route runner. He was very precise with his routes, and he knew maybe, 3, 4 moves ahead what he was going to do. So he was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. And so that's why he was so successful. Now, data, analytics, whatever you want to call it, it can't measure that. It's just measuring how fast he is, but it didn't matter. I mean, he was fast. Of course, he was fast, but even if he wasn't super fast, because he ran those perfect routes, it didn't matter that he wasn't the fastest player in the league. And, he went on to be, again, possibly the best receiver in NFL history. So, shows you that data doesn't always account for everything. Now, the other example is going to be Derek Jeter in baseball. Derek Jeter, statistically, many people would say that he was a poor defensive player. You can look it up online. You see it, many examples of this. People saying yeah, he's one of the worst defensive infielders in Major League Baseball history. I don't really think that's true, but some people say that. And the reason they do is because apparently, I never realized it at the time, but apparently he had very poor lateral movement. And as a shortstop, you have to cover a lot of ground, each direction, left and right. And people believe that he did not possess that ability to go left and right. But the thing is, even if that's true, he made up for it with intelligence, which you can't measure with data. And his intelligence was he would barely get to the ball, and then he would do that jump throw, that jump throw that he did, where he was literally like in the shallow outfield. And he'd get the ball to the first baseman on a hop, but he got it there. And it worked. He was also considered to have not a great arm for a shortstop. So, a lack of lateral movement and a mediocre arm, that doesn't seem like a good shortstop, but he got the job done. Maybe he realized his weaknesses, and so he compensated. He came up with a way of getting the job done. And also, how could statistics measure, the heart of a person, the guts, the clutch gene, as they call it? Jeter saved many of his best performances for the playoffs. And he had many of his best defensive plays were in the playoffs, including the one for which he is most well known, which is the play where, I don't remember the outfielder, but I think it was Shane Spencer. One of the Yankee outfielders throws the ball into the infield over the first baseman's head, over the cutoff man, and you think the guy's going to score for the Oakland A's. Then Jeter comes from out of nowhere, gets the ball and flips it to home plate, and they tag the guy out, preserving the shutout. And the Yankees eventually won 1-0. So Jeter prevented that run from being scored and preserved the shutout. How can data measure that? That's such an unusual play, such baseball IQ, and has nothing to do with data. So data can be deceiving. Data is useful. There's plenty of it in this day and age, maybe too much, but data can definitely be useful, but you can't completely rely on it. Sometimes you do have to go with what your eye is showing you, or what your gut feeling says. And anyone who watched Jerry Rice or Derek Jeter knows that those guys were amazing at what they did. And I don't care what the data says. I would take those guys on my team any day of the week.